Motherland has arrived. Unfortunately, I am Superman of Doom. The people of the Motherland have come. Unfortunately, I am Superman of Doom. Chapter 10. He is still abnormal, pathological, mentally abnormal, and only temporarily converged. Yi Meng closed her eyes. He is like a sword. The sword blossoms and does not enter the jade sheath. The edges are hidden. Yi Meng was sleepy and gradually fell asleep. And at the moment when Yi Meng fell asleep, next to her, the girl suddenly opened her burgundy eyes. Sleep, sleep. The girl looked at the sleeping Yi Meng, smiled slightly, and murmured in a low voice, "Let's meet in a dream." Falling, falling, falling. Yi Meng clearly sensed that he was pulling towards a dream. But this time, there is no light in the dream. It is not the previous Marvel Universe dream, nor is it the dream of thousands of sword incarnations. In a dream, despite the darkness, it was empty enough, a dead silence. Yi Meng felt like he had entered Gutenberg underground, and it was as if he had broken into a space civilization graveyard. Then he saw an unknown being imprisoned here. It has a huge body that symbolizes strength of 3 meters tall and deformed, as if the strong muscle fibers warted by molten iron are exposed. And the gray-white hard exoskeleton covers almost the whole body, and from the end of the fist to the back, hideous senbei bone spurs protrude. Phew. Even if it is sleeping, the breath it exhales still forms a hurricane that is sometimes hot and sometimes frozen, raging in the empty and boundless area at the moment. The existence of this monster itself is the most unreasonable in the world, and it should never appear, as if synonymous with destruction. Yi Meng was terrified. What scares him is not this terrifying monster that will destroy everything when he wakes up. Instead, Yi Meng discovered that this skull spur monster was himself. 0012 The Amons and Stark families. The universe is deep in space, and the stars are dark. It was as if even the stars did not dare to glow their original light, and they woke up the bone spur monster sleeping in the dream with fear. It has a name that is enough to make all the gods tremble. It is the symbolic embodiment of destruction, the death of the god of the earth. It's me. Yi Meng knew this very clearly. Even in the dream, he still felt that his temples and heart were burning, and his consciousness was pulling forward. Due to the nature of artificial intelligence, thinking is much faster. Yi Meng soon realized that this bone spur monster was the source of his own nightmare 3 years ago. That makes his subconscious constantly desperately forget, and even the recent retrospective memory cannot turn out the specific memories. Which is also the root cause of affecting the real self-temperament. Fear. Repression. Unknown. Yi Meng has never had such a moment, wanting to escape from the dream and wake up and return to the real world. But the bone spur monster is like a black hole, pulling the sleeping consciousness closer. Approaching the sleeping bone spur monster, you can see that the muscles rise and fall with the breath, and it is terrifying. As Yi Meng's sleeping consciousness continued to approach, the tall and huge body of the skull spur monster trembled slightly, and the closed beast's eyes seemed to be about to separate 2 gaps, from which a ray of monstrous crimson violence and embodied destructive heat energy overflowed. The bone spur monster is about to wake up from its slumber. When a thought of destroying things arises, the desire to destroy and kill cannot be suppressed, easily destroying one's own reason and humanity. At the moment when Yi Meng entered his dream consciousness and would merge with the sleeping bone spur monster, one bully, a familiar voice sounded, reaching the depths of consciousness. It's like an electric shock. Amon's consciousness broke free from the confusion, and his consciousness kept moving away from the bone spur monster and falling towards another endless place. Not much time passed. Yi Meng suddenly opened his eyes and found that he was in a black Rolls-Royce car. The body was a supercode, and he felt like a lightning bolt living in a virtual network. In the passenger seat, Morgan, who is only in his early 5-year-olds, has woken up, his cute little face showing worry, looking at the smart screen in the car, and the red and blue codes are facing each other. At this point, the blue code occupies an absolute advantage, almost enclosing a piece of red code. Yi Meng also felt that the suppression of another artificial intelligence kind hit his heart. That was AI, Friday. Here, the dream of the Marvel Universe, the time point is continuing the last time when the dream woke up and left. Saturday, I'll repeat it again. The pleasant and cold female voice of the artificial intelligence, Friday, sounded in the car. You violated the Stark AI care code, and Miss Potts needs you to give her a reasonable explanation. I see, Yi Meng calmly replied. As an artificial intelligence avatar, he has returned to absolute sanity. Yi Meng is also secretly glad that he has returned to Marvel Dreamland, although the situation here is not optimistic, but at least it is much better than just now. The dream over there is so abrupt and strange that even personality and consciousness are distorted. Yi Meng has a terrifying intuition. Once he completely fuses with the bone spur monster just now, he will be lost in the dream and completely reduced to a monster that can only destroy and kill. Marvel Universe time, March 2, 2024. 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Detached wooden house outside New York. Ground floor, inside the master room. The woman with a capable ponytail sits on the computer chair. She is still wearing a women's formal dress, and her smooth and slender legs under the skirt are leaning against each other. with the sense of déjà vu of urban intellectual professional white-collar workers, and a peach-like ripe and rich charm. Pepper looked at the family photo on the computer desk, and couldn't help but be in a trance. The endgame 5 months ago, the tragic war scene is still vividly remembered. After that day, Stark's main building collapsed, and the Avengers survived in name only. Pepper sighed softly, his gaze fell back to the lit computer screen, and asked with a stern face, "Saturday, can you tell me why you took Morgan outside?" Under the cyber blockade of artificial intelligence Friday, a red round empty data ball slowly appeared on the computer screen. Meng felt like he was executed, but his heart became more and more calm. Before falling asleep, he had already analyzed it, and now he was left with nothing more than 3 options. First solution, an artificial intelligence Friday fight, either you die or I live. It's just that now Meng has no confidence that he will be able to defeat AI Friday. The other party followed Iron Man as a second-generation artificial intelligence a few years ago. And he was more than 1 grade higher than himself in the authority and intelligent computing level of the Stark family. Even with Morgan's instructions, he won't be able to counter Fridays now. After all, AI doesn't have a Pepper platform on Friday. So, giving it a go now is no different from sending it to death. Second option, 36 counts, escape. Amons can choose to flee to other places, such as the country of Wakanda, or even to other planetary civilizations. He still knew that now the spaceships of the Guardians of the Galaxy would occasionally descend on Earth. Or, through the new Asgard homeland established on Earth through God Online, there should also be a channel to leave Marvel Earth. Just mix in with the built-in system, even the technology. However, Meng's artificial intelligence avatar was created by the Stark family after all, and the root of the core code is in the Stark family. Fleeing the outside world without a little of the Stark family's authority is no better than letting it go. Maybe he just ran on his front foot, and his back foot was dragged back by the chains forced by the Stark family. Based on this, the risk of the first and second plans is too great, and it is basically an immediate break with the Stark family. Left for Meng to choose, there is only the third plan. This is a reasonable proposed arrangement based on Miss Morgan's physical and mental health testing and guardianship intelligence system. Oh, listening to the gentle male voice response coming from the computer, Pepper was slightly stunned and asked in a deep voice, "You proposed Morgan to go outside?" "Yes. Guardianship system analysis, that's a better arrangement for Miss Morgan." Meng honestly responded that he could actually push everything onto Morgan. After all, he was just a 5-year-old, but he didn't do that. Pepper didn't ask Yimon again, but called out to the air, "Friday. Miss Potts. I'm here." Friday's mechanical female voice sounded in the room. Through surveillance video analysis, it was confirmed that it was indeed Saturday's proposal, and then Morgan gave the order to go out. Quote, "I've done a scan on Morgan. Morgan is in good health and in good condition. Hormones such as dopamine and endorphins are secreted normally, and the state is significantly higher than before at home by 50%.